Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and welcome to another Infinite Wealth video. Today, we are talking about the Geodancer. Now, you may be wondering why I have her outfit like this. One, I just think it's funny because I don't think the coat works that well with this outfit. I think the coat was not animated with this job in mind. But we're going to be talking about the Geodancer. Basically, going to go over the skills. What are some other skills and other jobs you might want to consider getting? What are the strengths and the weaknesses, the role that this plays, and how it would fit into a team comp. And then finally, we will end the video by going into some battles, hopefully showing off a little bit of it. Obviously, that'll change depending on the class. Like the idol, no offense, we're probably not going to show that much combat of. But we're not there. We're at the Geodancer. So, what is the Geodancer? I mean, you could read the synopsis down here at the bottom. An attack and support job with extraordinarily high magic but little durability. That is a good synopsis. So, this job has a lot of good versatility. It has a very high base magic stat, right? Actually, comparatively to every other possible job here, it is the highest base magic stat out of all these characters. So that's very, very good. To go along with that magic attack, it has lots of magic attacks as well. Now, it has things that you could, this applies your weapon's attribute and may boost your evasion. So just starting off, this is really good. Not only does it apply your weapon's attributes, which is usually a pretty good thing to do, depending on the weapon. I actually think it's not as good with the Geodancer as it is other classes, but earlier in the game, this is going to be really good, and it has a stat boost on top of it. This is a big sub-theme, a lot of their attacks, right? Their sub-theme is they deal magic damage, and they can also lower the enemy's willpower. Now, as you lower the enemy's willpower, that's basically their defense to magic attacks. So you are going to be dealing damage, and then the next time you'll deal more damage, and the next time you'll deal even more damage, and the next time you'll deal even more and more damage. So that's kind of the idea here, right? If we look at all of her attacks, they're either going to apply a weapon's attributes, or they're going to be lowering willpower. And so you can see, lower willpower attributes, lower willpower attributes. And so that's kind of one of her main thing if you're using her in a more offensive role. But this is what's really good about her, is because it's an offensive / support thing, right? Because if you have a team that is doing magic damage, her being able to deal damage while also being able to lower their willpower is very, very good. However, debuffs aren't guaranteed. So if you want something more guaranteed, she does have a lot of versatility here as well, right? Just the ability to boost everyone's magic, which is, I think it's a relatively uncommon thing. I actually don't think Kasuga can boost everyone's magic. I think it's attack, defense, and crit chance. And then Ukulele Strum, right? Another AoE buff. This boosts everyone's willpower and evasion. So it's basically evasion, helps you dodge attacks straight up. And willpower helps you take less from magical damage. So certain enemies, this will be very strong against. Against all enemies, it'll be usable and reasonable. Against some, it'll be super strong, though, especially if you just do this 3 times in a row. Outside of that, she does have this one debuff. I think this is kind of a throwaway ability. Putting enemies asleep is inconsistent, and if it fails, then you've just wasted a turn. But then, so she's got the sub-theme of dealing damage while also debuffing the enemy. She's also got the buff your allies semi-sub-theme here, increasing their damage with magic boost or their survivability with willpower boost. And then she just straight up got healing. Like good healing too, right? An AoE heal, a revive, which is, not super, super common. There are better revives, but this one is 20 MP. That's a very low MP cost. If half HP is going to be enough, then this is going to be a great ability. And then she has the essence of natural healing, right? This is maybe one of the best healing spells in the game, if not literally the best. Recovers all allies' HP and removes status ailments. So it heals them all, and it removes their status ailments. Usually you do one or the other. This is an ability that does both. You're paying a premium. 70 MP is a lot for a heal ability. And you're not going to want to use this unless you're getting effects from both sides, right? Because typically you could just heal, or you could just do the other one. And I actually think that this might be basically built into Psycho's kit, because I think her superpower is basically to do this kind of ability. So it might not be great on Psycho specifically, but I still think it's probably one of the better healing things in the game. And then finally, again, just a lot of damage and lower willpower. So this class is all about dealing damage, right? It's not all about dealing damage, but it's all about magic, and then magic support. So, you know, lower the willpower, raise your guys' stats, and then if you really need to, heal. This is probably not how you want to use this character, but you could also use them to heal. It's more like they're an off healer if your primary support is gone, you know, or their turn's not coming up anytime soon. So let's go over the weaknesses so we can kind of know what we're looking for in other jobs. The main weaknesses of this ability, as you may have seen, is there are no elements in this. There's just flat magic, right? So you cannot exploit any weakness at any point with any skill, right? Other than if they're weak to like blunt and you attack them with your auto attack, which is very weak. You could equip that thing, the brand, so you know your basic attack is scaling off your magic or whatever, but that's not that good. Like, come on, you don't really want to be doing that. You want to be exploiting their elemental weaknesses, if anything, and you can't. So I would probably recommend, if you're looking for skills, go to other skills and find some good elemental skills. You want a good fire and a good ice. Now, the reason you don't care about lightning is that out of the classes everyone shares, there's not a single magic lightning attack possible, right? There's a couple physical lightning that might be good if you're going more of a physical route, but like there's no elemental lightning, like literally zero, right? So the only way to get elemental lightning would be to have it on a weapon, and then like this applies your weapon's attributes. I don't think that's very good because her best weapon here, you know, the legendary weapon, doesn't have lightning on it. Okay. The second best weapon, the electric drum, does have lightning. So this could be something you could go for. And in some situations, I might consider this on other classes, but not the Geodancer. This weapon is insane. Every turn, chance of a magic buff at the start of your turn. That's huge for this kind of magic class. 2, recover HP when you receive a buff. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy. At the start of your turn, you get a magic buff, you also will just heal HP. If you do an AoE buff to give everyone willpower and evasive, you'll heal HP. So she could keep herself healed while just supporting the team. And it's got great stats, and it increases your damage, and it increases your survivability. It's basically like a 10 out of 10 ultimate weapon. I really, really like that weapon. Now, the other main weakness, I would say, besides the lack of element, I don't think there's a grapple, but none of these, I can't remember if any of these are a grapple, but that's not really that big of a deal. But really, the thing that I'm most worried about is that survivability. Yes, the weapon helps heal you and keeps you up, you know, healed. Yes, you have buffs to do it, but I still think you have a chance. If you're going up against a physical enemy, you might just get one shot if you're on like legend difficulty. You know, if you're like in the really late game, you might just get one tapped. Now, I've had people say that about the Kunoichi as well. However, the Kunoichi does have the higher agility, means it's easier to guard, I think, if you could tell something's coming up. But they also have slashing resistance, so they're a little bit more resistant to 1/3 of the physical elements that are possible to get out there. But I do think that you might just be in danger of her just dying outright. Like, as you get into the extremes of the super late game, in most of the game, it's not going to matter. You're going to be fine. But I am nervous about the super late game. So those are going to be the main weaknesses. Now, for the abilities that I recommend, it kind of depends on what you're doing. I do actually like Candle Rush, right? Being able to burn and do Fearful is good. It's a light attack, so I'm not too concerned about it, but it is pretty decent. I would get Miraculous Voice because, like I said, having a you have the ability to remove all healing or heal and all ailments with one ability, but sometimes, at least for me, I just wanted the ability for 25 man instead of 70 to just remove the status ailments because my characters had fine on HP, right? I don't want to have to spend 70 MP just to do that. Another one I would get is I could consider getting Essence of the Idle Spirit because you have a cheap, this is only 30 MP by the way, but you have a 20 MP that heals at half life. This heals the full life. If you need the full life, then you can get this. It's just twice as good, but it may be a redundancy that you don't really need, especially when I think you would probably be better served getting basically what you're going to be looking at is you're going to be looking at the magic spells, right? You can get some really, really cool spells like Scattering of Flowers. I think this is an insanely good ability, good AoE, and increases your agility. It's something you want to be going fast. You know, agility is really, really good in this game. And so I would recommend that. And then basically just kind of look for some of these strong abilities here. I don't think you really need these generic ones. Yeah, it's cool to be able to remove enemies' buffs. And I think that it is good on the Geodancer as well, just not because it's necessarily synergistic, but it's tough because you can only carry one of these kinds of big abilities over, right? And this is a really useful effect to just have on the team. Sometimes, like an enemy, I know one just gives himself 3 stacks of evasive. All right, assuming that this can hit, it'll just remove all those buffs and you can start attacking them again, right? So I think that's very nice to get, but I'm not sure if that's worth being that the only ability you would bring. I would probably still bring potentially the revive, potentially the honestly, I think this is the one I'd probably bring actually. You could bring a different like stronger ability, but I think that this utility is kind of exactly what the Geodancer is trying to do. So we'll just summarize it again really quick there. I know I'm rambling a little bit, all right? I'm not perfect. So if I had to pick like 5 abilities, I would definitely take Miraculous Voice. I would take Candle Rush. I would take the Scattering of Flowers. I would probably take Bubble Bale. Oh, no, here we go. I would take Scum Scrapper. And then I'd probably take Essence of Suction Spiral as well. Those are kind of the things I think you're going to want to be looking for there, because you need to cover your elemental weaknesses so you can exploit those in some fights. And also you just need like a little bit of more, because like, yes, it's nice to have both these abilities in one, but you want to kind of have them separate as well in case you don't need to burn all your mana. So I think that's kind of it. I don't have the unique equipment for the Geodancer. I don't have the unique equipment for Chitose yet. I will go more into depth on a future video about all the characters, what specific jobs the characters are best at. I still am getting to the end game myself in that situation. But also, just to reiterate, this weapon is fucking insane. I actually think that this could make this class one of the best classes in the game, assuming that the survivability is there. I think this weapon will push this class above and beyond, because you just get tons of magic, tons of HP recovery, and you could focus on just, you don't need to worry about keeping yourself alive. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Make sure I got the gear equipped. And we're just going to go to the, I like the wizard outfit stuff. It just makes you get your stuff from your willpower instead, right? Physical attack damage is derived from willpower instead of defense. Chance of willpower buff at the start of your turn, and slightly recover MP after winning a battle. Those are all very good. Now, of course, they're not legendary. I'd probably switch the hat out if I had to. Let's go over here. I'm already doing this, so. Oop. This is where I was going to start here originally to kind of check the jobs, but I ended up not, because I wanted to see the weapon. I wanted to show you guys the weapon, because the weapon is like really good. All right, take me in. We're going to go down to the bottom layer here. We should be okay. We should be reasonable, at least. So we'll kind of take a look at the abilities that I have unlocked and what we can do. Just kind of show you some visuals. I think she's still the fastest in my party, too. She is, okay. Also, one of the few characters that, like, when you move, they have, like, a huge, totally different moving animation, I feel like. Like, I don't know if the characters do that a lot, but I think it's a very over-the-top animated job, which I really like. So you can see I have here, like, I'm going to recommend Substitution Jutsu on literally every class if you're not running a Kunoichi character, because I think it's the strongest ability in the game. But assuming that you're not, you're just using this character alone, but I would recommend that on pretty much everybody. I don't even know why I have Magical Song. I must have had the wrong ability selected from, because I switched them over pretty quick. But anyway, So they do have a grapple here, the corkscrew, right? So this is pretty awesome. It's heavy damage with a grapple and can lower their willpower. So we could either do buffs or we could just start doing enemy area damage. I mean, again, let's just do some area attack. Imagine if I even landed those. A bunch of kicks, right? Do I want to... I don't want to attack with too many. Let's kind of lower them. That way we don't accidentally die or something. I haven't been down here yet, so I'm a little nervous. Hell yeah, let's go, buddy. It's actually like the first time in forever that I've used the hero also. I just got that weapon from completing the Sujimon battle. Yeah. Get toasty. Gets real moist. Oh, shit. All right, so I love this ability. So let's just use it on let's use it on our main boy here. Increasing evasion is so nice at preventing damage. We are gonna kill this guy here. Smack, smack, smack. Just guard. This is her show. Listen, I'm didn't say I'm good at this game, all right? I wasn't good at Paper Mario either. And so, look, yeah, the wisdom buff is just kind of going and going. I think that's from the boots. But yeah, if that was like a potential magic buff at the start of every turn, whoo-wee, I would love that. All right, so let's try the... This is one of my favorite abilities in the game as well. It's just an AoE, and it's light, but it boosts your agility. It says may. I mean, I feel like that's like every time. I don't know if I've seen it not boost my agility. I mean, I probably have, but I feel like 8 out of 10 times at least it is. So let's try this one out. Oop. Great damage. Honestly, like, this is a character... This is, like, a relatively, like... I didn't invest a lot into this character yet. I just have, like, a little bit going. And already is, like, doing pretty good. Let's just end this one here. It's kind of a weird character because they're a jack of all trades, but they're good at all of it. That's kind of what, like... is weird about this class, but I like this job, class job, is they're great at attacking. I don't think they're the best magical attacker in the game, but that's not what they're trying to be. They're not trying to be the best magical attacker. They're trying to be a really good magical attacker while also being able to make your other magical attackers even stronger. So I wouldn't have this person be your dedicated support. I would have one person that's like, hey, I have an idol in my team or something, and what their job is to heal, buff. Like, I would have them come over here and get the ability to increase people's magic and ukulele strum. That way this character doesn't have to do it. So I would have your idol, like, turns where they don't need to heal. They just try to boost everybody up. And then this character is just trying to lower willpower every single turn. Probably with your, like, your big boy ability here for 65. Try to do this as many times as you can. And then after their willpower is maxed out low, then switch to their elemental weakness and try to do a heavy version of their elemental weakness, or just keep it going. And then what's great is that if you're really, really in a bind, your main healer goes down, your main support goes down. This character, although is your main damage dealer, can still, one of your main damage dealers could still revive that healer or top off the entire party if your healer needs to drink a potion to get some mana back. So it's like a perfect support and attack. It's like there's full-on damage dealer, and then there's full-on support. And this is like such a perfect meld in the middle because it does it all well. It does it all very well also because they have like the best healing spell. They could even just get your whole party ready to go. The only other better healing spell is probably the Sujimon revive your whole team thing because that's like a panic button, right? So I think that this class is probably one of the strongest, but I think they're going to be outshone by a lot of classes or jobs. I think that the damage numbers it puts out is not direct because it's lowering willpower, so it's making your other characters look stronger. So the numbers on this character aren't going to be as high as the others. At the same time, the support possibilities aren't going to be as good as if you have a Kunoichi or someone like with a higher agility that's able to put buffs out faster and faster and faster. So I do think that this character is going to not look like they're doing a lot, but they're also going to be like, you want to use one of their abilities really bad. You never are like, I don't know, which ability do I want to use? You're always like, I really want to debuff this guy. I really need to heal my team. I really want to buff my team. So overall, fantastic character. Only weaknesses is I'm a little nervous about potential late game survivability, even with the evasion buff in, even with the passive healing. Really low defenses and low HP. That's, really strong bosses might just like focus her down and kill her from, like, let's say she's at 500 HP, not even particularly low, at 500 out of 700, and she could just get one tap there. That's going to be kind of rough to deal with. But you might be able to itemize to get around that. Like, oh, you instead survive with 1 HP. Or you get the thing where it's like, if you would die, instead you get back up. I don't remember who had that. Someone had that ability. It might have been one of the guys, though, besides Kiritsu. Ichiban had that, but someone else I thought had that also. It's not that important. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. Much love. Let me know if you like the video. Let me know if you don't like the video. The structure is still a little over there. I'm trying to get it down a little bit. Also, now if you made it to the end of the video, this should be the last video where I'm not at rank 30. I am going to be beating the game, not tonight because I don't have time, but hopefully tomorrow. I'm on the final, the finale chapter. I'm going to try to spend like 4 or 5 hours just getting through and beating the game, and then just grinding everything up. And so I should be able to get everything up to a point where I could actually fully show off all the classes in the game, all the jobs. And then we're just going to keep doing that. And then after I really understand the end game and the legendary mode and all that stuff, then we'll start going into which characters are best at which things and why are they best at which things, how to get their unique gear and stuff like that. And then we will go from there. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. You friends have a wonderful rest of your day or night, whatever. Peace.